Word up, everyone. Michael Kozlowski.
Peter Kerotanuto.
We are talking to you live in the studio today with
Live.
full disclosure.
Yes.
Where we talk about a new e-reader that we just reviewed today.
So if you look at it, look how small the Clara is. But it's not. It ended up being a 6-inch. We thought this would be kind of like the Mini 2.0 kind of thing because they had the Kobo Touch, and then recently with their latest line of e-readers with the Rakuten logoing, they did the Kobo Touch 2.0. So when Mike broke the story in the office with everyone, he was like, oh, Clara's coming out. We're like, yeah, I wonder what it's going to be. And we all had this kind of suspicion it was going to be another Mini. It's not. It's a 6-inch, but it's got a small bezel. It's got rounded corners. You can see from the footage above you here. It's got really good glow light. What do you think, Mike? Here it is in the studio.
Yeah, I mean,
finally landed. A little bit disappointed that it's not a Mini.
When we compared this e-reader against like the Kobo Aura Edition 2, there was no contest.
Yeah.
Like the new Clara HD. Everything
it's clear
from the main menu to all the text on the screen.
Right.
It's clearer. It's the text is a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But it has a higher DPI.
That's why.
It feels like the Kobo Clara HD is running different firmware than all the other 6-inch Kobo e-readers, and that's normally what they do when they release it. They tend to release a new e-reader with like new firmware.
Yeah.
You know, a revised home screen. Everything looks really sharp, and then eventually they push that functionality to other e-readers. But the problem is that Kobo tends to pump up the resolution of e-readers, pump up the PPI, add more lights for like the comfort light display as well as the front light display, and it's hard to bring that functionality to other devices that actually don't have a comfort light.
Look how fuzzy that is. Look at the video above, guys. Look how fuzzy it is compared to the Clara.
I mean,
it's unreal. I'm showing video right now. Everyone can see it from the comparison. Like, it's no contest. You can see like how big everything is on the 2.0.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so fine on the Clara. It's like you have more screen real estate than you actually do.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part. I also like the back of the Clara
stylistic.
With the new it's Kobo's always done this. They've always done the backs of the e-readers heavily stylized, and it changes from generation to generation.
You remember the Argyle they used to do on the Kobo tablets,
and then they had like the weird curves and stuff like that with
and
like a total flush back,
and they had like the chisel. There was an asymmetrical chisel. It's been they've really brought a lot of art to their backs, whereas like Amazon will just do like a flat black, you know, and like Sony will just do flat black, but they've always done something on a Kobo.
Yeah, and the reason why they do that is just not pure aesthetics. It's because it is easier to grip.
It is.
And I find that compared to the back on this, the
2.0,
it doesn't actually have a grip. It's just like little curves on the sides, a flat back, whereas this totally has these weird perforations and stuff, which makes
it does.
Even with one hand, you grip.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing is how rounded the corners are each generation. So if you look here, Clara here, the corners are more rounded.
Yeah.
Than the other one, so it makes it easier to hold in your hand because you actually don't have anything like gripping. You don't have anything digging into it. With here, you kind of do.
Yeah. It's much less boxy the later the Clara here. But as I asked before, are you a little bit disappointed that it's not a Mini 2? Like personally, you?
Yeah.
Right.
It's because of the price.
I know.
Because I know. The Walmart deal with Kobo in the US for you, because Kobo doesn't have any distribution in the US.
Yeah.
The only way that you can buy a Kobo e-reader is off of their website, or if you order from Chapters Indigo, because the Canadian bookseller, which is the equivalent of Barnes & Noble, will ship it from Canada to US buyers. So US people will actually pay Canadian prices and then have it shipped, so it's really cheap. But try before you buy. You can't do that. Kindle has relationships with all the big retailers in the US. You can try a Kindle before you buy it. Nook, same thing. Walk
Barnes
in any
and Noble store,
yeah, walk into any Barnes and Noble bookstore. There's Nook tablets. There's like Nook e-readers.
They have like a Nook booth when you go in there.
Yeah. I mean, smaller stores don't.
Right.
Bigger stores do, like Union Station and like in New York and stuff do.
Yeah.
Or Union Square or whatever.
We don't live in the States.
Yeah,
we don't know.
exactly. We're in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I know how important the Walmart deal is and US distribution for Kobo, because it's going to be like in literally like 1,000 plus Walmart stores.
Right.
And I thought that the Mini 2 would be like $69, $79, perfect impulse buy. It would allow Kobo to make an immediate impact in Walmart, offering a really cheap like option.
Yeah.
This is like $129 US.
Yeah.
So it does replace like the Kobo Glow HD, the Kobo Aura Edition 2.
Yeah.
It supplants
Kobo Touch 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It basically supplants all of the other kind of like 6-inch e-readers out there.
I on a personal level of mine, like I just think they shouldn't have done just another 6-inch. You know what I mean? Like, there's been nothing but just a string of 6-inch devices, and finally they had this build up. They had this like long time. They had this chance, really, and they had history of making the Kobo Mini. They should have done a Mini 2.0. They have a bunch of 6 inches already.
Yeah, I mean, their 6 inches are a little bit long in the tooth.
They are.
They do have like Kobo isn't adverse to taking risks with larger screen e-readers.
No, they started
6.8 inch e-readers,
7.8,
7.8.
and the Mini, the 4.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they have in their current portfolio like the H2O Edition 2, the Kobo Aura 1. Those are all non-conventional 6-inch e-readers, but the price goes up. I mean, it's
hand in hand.
It's hundreds of dollars for either of those e-readers, whereas this entry-level e-reader, I think it is worth $129 US, $139 Canadian.
But
price
you are
tag.
right. But it does go hand in hand. If you go smaller, price gets lower. And Mike just said $79.99 impulse buy at the checkout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a Mini, but that's not the case here. When we broke the story, we saw the FCC thing. We're like, oh man, it's gonna be a Mini. It's gonna be a Mini. It showed up today. It wasn't a Mini. It's cool. It's good. It's a good light distribution. Really good device. Really clear. I was personally disappointed it wasn't a Mini when we opened the box.
Same here.
Yeah.
But nonwithstanding, I mean, this is the big 6-inch of the year for Kobo.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
the way they pulled it off, they really did. Like I said before, it's a small screen, and you were even saying, wow, it looks bigger than it is. And I was like, what is it? And we threw it against the Kobo Aura 2.0 touch, and it looks way bigger than it is because everything's densified, but it's higher PPI, so it looks really, really vast, and everything's smaller, not unreadable though, kind of small. Yeah, it was very crisp. Light distribution has nothing on the rest of the 6 inches. We have 7 white LEDs, 6 orange or warm LEDs. When you put it halfway, everything turns on. Perfect clarity. They call it Clara for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Kobo does the comfort light technology really well. They more or less pioneered the modern version of it. So they call it Comfort Light Pro. It basically has like
warm LEDs,
six
warm
LEDs and 7 white LEDs.
Kind of like spaced like that in between each other. Yeah,
so it's even light distribution, no no splotches. Other companies have started to like offer comfort light. I believe Amazon still doesn't offer it.
They don't.
Barnes and
Tolino
Noble
does. Barnes and Noble does.
Well, Kobo designs the Tolino e-readers now, so that's why
even the boxes look the same now.
So that's why Kobo that's why Tolino e-readers have comfort light, because Kobo's actually the one designing like their hardware now, so synergy there. But for the vast majority of e-readers on the market, they don't have that comfort light technology.
Just the blinding white light.
So the reason why comfort light's important is because of like the white light causes like melatonin suppression. If you ever use like your tablet and phone before you go to bed, it takes a little bit longer to go to bed because you're staring at screens.
Basically means it helps you not sleep because you have this blinding white light in your face at midnight, whereas a nice warmer light, it's soothing, it's warm. You go to steakhouse, it's warm light, right? It's not like cafeteria
fluorescent lights,
yeah, exactly.
like on like the
so
roof
you're like,
and stuff.
and you hear the buzzing of
Yeah.
the light. You're like, oh, I want to sleep. No, so that's
Whenever
why
I hear
they
the
do that.
buzzing, I'm like inadvertently like
Yeah.
start squinting because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I hate those like
we spend
roll lights and
we
stuff.
spend like all day in a studio like this with this white lights spraying on us, but yeah, it is nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not disappointed in this device at all. It's fantastic. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a mini, and it wasn't. That in and of itself, I was.
Yeah, I mean,
it's great.
You know, another 6-inch e-reader, but you know, the e-reader industry has always done 6-inch e-readers.
Yes, always.
That's been from like, you know, almost day one
to now.
to now.
Yep.
It's the standard flagship area of the industry is 6 inches, for better or for worse.
Yep.
I know a lot of people who want larger devices, but hey, I mean, there's no shortage of 9.7, 13.3s and 10.3s, 6.8s,
7.8,
you know,
7.0,
exactly. I mean,
8.0, yeah.
there's no shortage of screen sizes like on the market,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are not long in the tooth. The Aura one is
Aura
not
1,
that old.
Limited edition just started in the States now, in
Yep.
Japan, so
32 gigs of
that's
space.
right. That's
I
right.
mean, you know, this is what Kobo needed. They
Yeah.
needed a 2018 6-inch e-reader
Absolutely.
that has a good price tag, that has tremendous resolution. The comfort light is really good. The front light is solid. It really feels like the overall experience is very highly indicative of
Right.
300 PPI, whereas other Kobo e-readers also have 300 PPI, but the text is fuzzy. The screen cover art is a bit fuzzy.
Yep.
This is the first modern Kobo e-reader that really takes it up a notch
It
in
does.
terms of the overall e-reading experience and just the clarity of the screen. And you know,
It
Clara.
makes the previous 6-inch devices from Kobo feel old just
yes,
by holding them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially like all of their 6-inch e-readers. We put this side by side with like 3 others just to be like, is the text clear? Is the menu clear? Is the cover art clear? And in all cases, the Kobo Clara won.
yes.
So if you have like a 2 or 3 year old Kobo, if you have the Glow HD, if you have like the Touch HD, this is worth upgrading
It is
too, in
worth
my
it.
opinion, because you're not breaking the bank. It is new, and for all the reasons we outlined, as well as our unboxing and comprehensive review video, you can kind of see for yourself what this really brings to the table.
Absolutely. This table in particular.
For sure. For goodybeater.com, my name is Michael,
This is Peter.
and this has been for Full Disclosure.